Parliamentary reporter dictation number 25 and the dictation speed is 140 words per minute. Ready? Start. Sir, I should like to deal with some of the recommendations of the committee, particularly their observations in regard to closer coordination between the central government and the state governments. The question of making health a central subject was discussed in the country's constituent assembly, and the members did not accept the suggestion made at that time that health should be made a central subject. It is primarily a state subject, but it is also in the concurrent list. But, sir, we feel that this was reflected this morning in the answers of the Minister of Health to a short notice question on cholera in Odisha that there is not sufficient coordination between the central government and the state governments. Cholera has broken out in Odisha. The Odisha government has not asked for the help of the central government, and the central government on its own initiative has not offered any help to the Odisha government. That was brought out in the answers which she gave this morning. Sir, if we have to maintain a fairly high standard of health in our country, it is necessary that there should be a much closer contact between the state governments and the central government, and my suggestion in regard to the recommendations of this committee is that whatever might be the constitutional position, there should be a central government health advisor at every state capital to advise the state government to find out the difficulties of the state government and to seek remedial measures. If it is within the power of the central government, the committee makes a suggestion about regional directorates. That may not be feasible, but certainly it is possible for government to appoint an advisor to represent it in the state capital. The second suggestion that I would like to make in regard to the main recommendations of the committee is that whatever might be the difficulties, we must make a start with regard to the evolution of a national health scheme on the basis of the scheme which is in force in England. In England, any person who makes a contribution of 5 shillings a week can get all the benefits under the national health scheme. That is not the rate at which we can get comparable services in our hospitals. A question may be raised that a national health scheme may not be financially feasible in India. The committee has made a recommendation that the Life Insurance Corporation, for example, should periodically check the health of persons who get themselves insured by the Life Insurance Corporation. If this recommendation is accepted, probably life insurance business will lapse because many people are afraid of getting themselves examined by the Life Insurance Corporation. I would like to make a suggestion that on the basis of cooperative health schemes which are in force in the United States and elsewhere, the Life Insurance Corporation may make a beginning in regard to a national health scheme. It is not difficult, the difficulties are not insuperable. The Employees State Insurance Corporation is going to add about 11 lakhs in the state of Gujarat this year, and if the 11 lakhs are added to the number of those who are getting the benefits of the Employees State Insurance Scheme, at the end of the next year there will be as many as 83 lakhs covered by that scheme. If that is possible under the employees state insurance scheme, it is quite in order for one to make a suggestion that the Life Insurance Corporation should make a beginning in this direction. It may not be possible for the Life Insurance Corporation to cover the whole country, but a beginning can be made. I would like to refer also to the recommendation made by the committee in regard to the medium of instruction in the medical colleges. The committee has recommended that English should be the medium of instruction in medical colleges, and English should be the medium of instruction for nurses also. I am not in agreement with the committee's recommendation that the nurses should be taught in English. Nurses have got to deal with some who may not know the English language. As far as doctors are concerned, if this country has to keep itself abreast of their countries in the world of medicine, it is necessary that the English medium should be retained. The House will watch with great interest what the minister has got to say in reply to this salient recommendation of the committee, because on the stand that the government of India is going to take on this subject will depend the future of medical education in our country. I would like to make an observation that somehow doctors feel that standards of medical education are going down. Mr. Chairman, the resolution under discussion raises a very important matter which merits careful consideration on the part of honorable members of this House and of the government. Questions will be asked and have been asked as to where is the necessity of nationalizing commercial banks. What is wrong with our banks today? Banks accept deposits from the poor as well as the rich. They support and enrich the economic activities of the nation. And what is wrong with them? Some time ago, there was a series of bank failures in West Bengal, culminating in the failure of the Lakshmi Bank and the Birla Bank. Maybe when such things occur, doubts arise in our minds as to whether the ordinary man who deposits in the bank is really safe, whether we have sufficient guarantees for the safe working of the banking system. But then the answer is that we have tightened the provisions of the Banking Companies Act and given more and more control to the Reserve Bank, and therefore the Reserve Bank is in a position today not only to insist upon all sorts of safeguards for the flotation of banks but also for the conducting of banks. It has the powers of supervision, control, and direction, and therefore, as the honorable members were saying, banking today is far safer than it ever was. So, where is the need for nationalization? Sir, in order to answer this question, one has to probe a little deeper and examine the function of banking. It is not a question of public sector or private sector. It is not a question of relating banking to private industry. We have to look at this question from the point of view of the goal we have adopted. Our goal is the creation of a socialist society. This we adopted some 7 or 8 years ago, and I am amazed to see that not a single step has been taken which is calculated to lead us to that goal. One important factor which helps to take us towards that goal is the removal of inequalities of wealth. This is a goal to which possibly no honorable member can have any exception. If we have to remove inequalities of wealth, then we have to remove the opportunities which create concentration of wealth. Now, I wish to show that these commercial banks do help in concentration of wealth. Now we have to really root out all chances of a man unlawfully enriching himself by the position of the strength of money, by the position of the strength of influence that he commands in the society. He is able to exploit others and create a position of wealth for himself. Now, in these opportunities, the banks have a very great place, sir. If we have to realize the important place that banks have in our society today and the vital role that they are playing in our economy, we have to probe, as I was saying a little before, a little deeper. How do they work? I am an agriculturist. I grow cotton and I bring it to the market. In the market, there are 2 or 3 buyers and they are rich people. Any number of people are willing to buy, but they have no money to buy that. These 2 or 3 persons have influence with the banks. They get any amount of loan from the banks or overdraft. Others cannot have that opportunity. These 2 or 3 persons will corner the produce in the market. They do not demand it when there is a lot of produce, and they make the produce rot in the market until at last the peasant is tired out, and then they will dictate the price in spite of the government's regulated market.